Hello, welcome to the voice blog. Today's episode is going to be called Balancing Resonance, and if you do like this video, please comment, rate and subscribe. So, balancing resonance, what are we talking about? Well, the assumption that a beginning singer will make when they hear a particular sound is that they will hear the most prominent part of the sound and assume that that is all there is to the sound. They will miss the what's behind that sound, so to speak. If you listen carefully to good singers, whatever sound they're making has three components within it. It has chest resonance, the ba-ba-ba that we're familiar with. It has pharyngeal resonance, the nay-nay-nay, that we're familiar with. It also has the head resonance, the ee-wee-wee-wee that we're all familiar with. Any sound that's made has those three components within it, and you can listen for that and you can hear that within any sound. Now, those three particular sounds that I just made are the types of sounds that exaggerate one type of resonance. The nay, for example, will tilt the singer slightly towards that pharyngeal sound. The ba will tilt them slightly towards the chestier sound, and the wee or the e will tip them slightly more towards the head resonance. So, what I'm trying to get across is, even though those particular exercises are leaning the singer in slightly different directions, they're still within those sounds, even sounds that are very biased towards a certain type of resonance, there is still all three components within the sound. And if you listen carefully, you'll hear it. So, what I want to move towards here is the idea of balanced exercises. The more biased exercises that I just talked about are to work on specific areas. So, if a singer is mouthy in their mix, then the reason that a nay will help them is it tilts them slightly more towards that nasal resonance or the pharyngeal resonance, and it helps them get out of that bias towards chest resonance. If a singer, a female singer, which can often be the case, is singing in a way that is biased towards head resonance, the ba is going to tilt them slightly more towards chest. And we're talking generally here. The end goal for a singer is to be able to move between these biases and exaggerate that aggression and that and be able to really get meaty and take control of their sound and get a full out sound. But we also want the singer to be able to have a lot of freedom and be able to make those really vulnerable, light, heady kinds of sounds as well. But within exercises and within practice, it's always important to try and get somewhere in the middle. And the exercises that help you balance out that resonance, the most famous one is the mum exercise. So, if you listen to what happens with the mum, just saying the sound mum. I'm closing my mouth, that's putting you can hear that it sits the sound nice in the middle with a nice open amount of kind of, it's not it's not this like heavy feeling. It's right in that middle area, just the hum, that if you just hum up and down scales, it really helps you to feel exactly where that middle area just sits, and you start to find that place where You're not having to think about where you put your voice. Back to the mum. That starts with a hum almost. Ma. It starts with a hum. So, after the hum comes the the ma. But because you've already set the sound out with the hum, as you open your mouth, you're unlikely to take that sound towards too much mouth resonance, because you've already set it up with the hum. So the way to think about the mum is a hum, and in between the hum you're simply opening your mouth. Mum, 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 mum. I could do the same simply with a hum. It's just a hum with the mouth opening. Nothing else is changing. So really, this is what I want to get across here, is the two exercises that I find help me to find that balance of resonance, to find that place where you're not sure if you're in head voice or chest voice or mixed voice. Because if you can find that real nice even balance of tone, you won't hear a bias towards any type of resonance. You will hear that head resonance, you will hear that pharyngeal, and you will hear that chest, but you won't really, you'll feel like, well, am I in head voice or chest voice or what? Because the sound is so balanced at that point that all the resonance is even. All three sounds can be heard, and that's really what you want. You want to be in a position where you can have that nice even balanced sound. From there you can work towards different biases and towards understanding the different biases and how they fit into that balanced sound. I watched a video recently that was called How to Eliminate Nasality from the Voice, and the solution that the video gave, I felt, was it was misguiding vocalists ultimately. And bearing in mind what I just talked about, what you need to think about is not eliminating any type of resonance from your voice, because I promise you, if you eliminate or you seek to eliminate any type of sound in your voice, it will always lead you towards imbalance. What you want to think about more is, I want to have a sound that's balanced enough that any type of resonance that I want to lean away from when I actually come to singing a song isn't going to affect the overall balance and the overall daily work that I do towards balancing my voice. Because within a song sorry, I drifted off there for a second. Within a song, obviously, you are going to have parts of songs very often that lean you towards a heavier sound or a lighter sound, and it's your job as a singer to understand where those sounds fit in to the overall balance of those three resonances. So, if I can get across one thing in this video, it is, don't try and eliminate any type of resonance from your sound. You want to embrace all three resonators: the head voice, the pharyngeal, or the head resonance, the pharyngeal resonance, and the chest resonance within any sound you make. Especially in your practice, your goal is to balance out those sounds. It's not to eliminate one sound. If you seek to eliminate, you're seeking to imbalance your voice. So, again, if I'm going to get across one thing to you in this video is don't seek to eliminate any type of resonance in your voice. And the exercises that I spoke about, the mum and the hums, they are exercises that you want to do when you're seeking to simply have a balanced tone. Now, what I'll say is this, that a balanced tone may not necessarily be the specific sound you're after when you're singing, but it's important that you have that neutral gear, so to speak, in your voice. You have an understanding of where that middle ground is when you're singing. If you have that understanding, whenever you're moving away in different directions with your singing, you will always have that neutral, balanced area to go back to. So your search when you're practicing and working at your singing on a daily basis is to find balance, regardless of whether the end result you want in your songs is a meaty sound. That daily balance of your voice needs to be taken seriously. Because if it's not, and all your songs are really powerful, meaty songs, you're going to get yourself into trouble. If, on the other hand, all your songs are very light and heady, then you can often get away with that, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. That's what countertenors do. That's what female sopranos do, and they're great singers. But the difficulty comes in that if you're constantly making light sounds, it's easy to become frightened of getting more aggressive with your voice, and in contemporary singing, light sounds all the time just aren't going to cut it. You need to have that aggressive kind of mode, and you need to have the lighter kind of sounds as well. So I'm just trying to give you an idea about what can happen if you are moving over too far one way or moving over to the other. Ultimately, singers that sing too light most of the time are singers that are a little bit frightened and are a little bit hesitant more often than not. Singers that sing aggressive too often are often confident singers, but they're often singers that can get themselves into trouble in terms of just carrying up too much weight and aggression. And essentially you want to balance in character, and you want to balance in the sound. The balance in character I'm talking about is the balance in terms of if you have too much confidence and aggression in what you're doing, you're going to end up squeezing too much. If you have more humility and more vulnerability in what you're doing, then if you have too much of that, you're likely to just be too restrained, too held back, and too frightened. Both can work for and against the singer, but if you have that balance in your character and in the exercises you're doing, you'll find that when it comes to singing more aggressive or it comes to singing lighter, you're working from that neutral gear that I spoke about, that nice, balanced, even sound. So, don't try and eliminate nasality. Embrace it as one of the three parts of any sound you're making, and search for balance in resonance. I hope this has given you some help. Please comment, rate and subscribe if you enjoy this video, and I'll see you next week, guys. Thank you, bye bye.